And let me introduce you all to Arpit. He is an HR at Deep, and who else would be perfect guide for today's session on career guidance for you guys. And okay, then Arpit, I think we can start with the session as we have quite a few like attendance here. So let's get started. Over to you.
All right, great. Thanks, Manjari, for arranging this. And hello, everyone. Thank you all for joining the event. So let's get started. So today's topic is going to be revolving around career guidance. Now, career guidance or career in general is very broad term, right? I'll be trying to cover all the necessary aspects that are involved whenever you're thinking about your career or what sort of paths that you'd want to take. Because you'll be working, let's say, for the next 20, 25, 30 years of your life, right? And definitely you don't want it to be boring. Right, so to make your career interesting, long-lasting, and also a rewarding career in general, this session is going to be for all of you. So just allow me some time. Let me just share my screen. So yes, as you all know, and as Manjari gave a small introduction, I'm Arpit. I am an HR here at Deep. So I started my journey as an engineer. I completed my engineering in mechanical from NMI Miss Mumbai. Then thought, I would like to explore more on the management side. Hence, I thought of doing an MBA. So I am also a part-time actor. I like doing theater. And along with that, I also enjoy playing and watching football. So I play as a goalkeeper and a defender. I played state level for Maharashtra. And yes, I am currently in the corporate world, so I'm just trying to explore best of both worlds, which is a professional and personal life, right? And it's very important to have a good balance, right? So whenever you have a hectic day at work, you go back to your home, and sort of do those things that you enjoy doing the most, and that will keep you energized throughout your life. So what are we going to talk about in today's session, right? So I'll be covering let's say 5 aspects within career guidance as such. So first one would be career planning. Then we'll talk about self-discovery and skill development. Then we'll talk about internships and projects, networking and mentorship, and also interview preparation. So I'll be, explaining you guys about my experience when I was attending certain interviews, when I was conducting interviews, right? So you'll get to understand both sides of the tables, right? As an interviewer and also as an interviewee, as to how things are in today's job market or the career market. So yeah, let's get started with the first aspect that we'll talk upon. It would be career planning. And let me just highlight, a couple of benefits as to why planning your career is important, right? Because it will give you clarity. You'll have a focus as to what you are going to do for the next 10, 12 years of your life. And also it's going to give you confidence, right? Because once you've planned all the things, once you've planned a career path for you, you definitely feel confidence because you know what you are going to achieve and what you have to achieve, right? So you take the necessary actions or necessary steps in order to reach there. And that's why planning is very important. And it's not just with the career, but in all the aspects of our life, planning is a much important aspect. Just to gain clarity or focus or confidence, you can take help of online platforms like LinkedIn, Coursera, YouTube. So LinkedIn is a great tool, right? Because there are many content creators on LinkedIn nowadays who post relevant content on planning your career, on how to choose your specific streams. Now it could be after 10th grade, after 12th grade, or even after graduating. Whenever you're going to take post-graduation programs, if you want to pursue higher studies, LinkedIn would be a best source because there are so many content creators talking about it, sharing their experience, and also industry experts, who have worked for around 20, 25 years in their journey, sharing their thoughts and their point of view. Coursera is, of course, a learning tool. It's a platform wherein you can get access to certification courses for free, for paid, and these certification courses are provided by industry experts or by faculties who are teaching in top-notch universities, including Stanford, MIT. All these are global universities, IITs, IIMs, if you talk about the Indian context, right? So if you want to get an idea on certain things, on certain skill sets that you'd want to pursue as a career in, Coursera is a greater tool for that. YouTube is, of course, a free platform that everyone does have access to on their phones, on their laptops. there are a couple of good channels on YouTube that you can search for if you're, let's say, stuck, right? So if, for example, you have just finished your 12th grade and you want to figure out what's next for you in terms of taking up a graduation course. Let's say you are interested in computer engineering, but what exactly in computer engineering? So you can go on YouTube, search for computer engineering. It will provide you n number of skill sets, languages, tools, technologies, to so that you can sort of focus on and then find your interest or your passion where it lies. Then you can also have certain career counseling sessions. There are many centers across the country who offer career guidance. There are psychologists who have been trained as career counselors, right? That can help you guide as per your interests, your capabilities, and also your passion. And of course, alumni networks are again a great thing, right? I remember when I was graduating from my engineering college 4 years ago, I was very active in connecting with all my seniors of my those were there in engineering college, right? And not just within the mechanical department, but from across different branches. And the conversation which I had with my alumni at that point of time actually helped me understand as to what the job market lies in front of me, right? What I'm going to enter after getting graduated from college after engineering. So it really helps you understand, gain a perspective about the job market, because the alumni networks, all our alumni are actually working in the industry and have been working for the past 3-4 years minimum. And who better than to go for and seek the advice, right? The next point that we're going to talk about is self discovery and skill development. Now, whenever we start planning about a career, about any job that you'd want to take upon, right, self discovery is very important because it helps to understand and assess our own self, right? It helps you assess your own interests, your strengths, and also what are exactly your values, right? There are multiple tools that you can use for assessing yourself. There are online aptitude tests. There are various personality assessments like MBTI, Big Five. Now, my favorite personality assessment tool is MBTI tool, because I remember when I did my engineering, after doing my engineering, when I decided I wanted to move to management side, I was confused between marketing and HR. And MBTI is a personality assessment tool which helps you uncover certain things about your own personalities and certain traits that you yourself would not be aware of, right? And then it provides relevant career opportunities for you as well, depending on your personality. For example, for me, my report suggested that I'm an ambivert, which means I'm a mix of introvert and an extrovert. So that means I like enjoying, I like having conversations, but it's with selective people. I do not enjoy having conversations with each and every person out there, right? I'm very selective, I'm very choosy when I'm talking to people. And that's how I came to realize HR could be an interesting field, right? Because I'll talk to people, and whenever it's needed to. And since I'm in HR, it's my job to talk to people, to understand about their life, to understand about their career, and also sort of guide them throughout the normal day-to-day working. So these are certain skills, or there are certain tools and assessments that you can take online. You can just Google MBTI or Big Five, and the first couple of links that you'll find on the Google search would be the most relevant one for you to take upon. And you can rely on these assessments because these are usually proctored and curated by scientists and psychologists and researchers, right? So it's very reliable, and trust me, it will be a big help for you. Now, one more tip on how you can for self discovery is how you can assess your interests, your strengths and values. SWOT is a very good example here. So SWOT is SWOT, and it's a matrix, right, wherein S stands for strength, W stands for weakness, O stands for opportunities, and T stands for threat. And you can use this to assess your own personality and your own interests. For example, if I have to tell you what would my strengths be, so I would say communication is my strength, networking is my strength. Then again, using HR tools or certain tools and technologies is my strength. So I know where my strengths lies. Then I'll go on the weakness side to assess and understand what my weaknesses are. Now, for example, I would say I usually don't like connecting with people. I'm very moody, or I'm very selective when talking to people. So I feel that it's my weakness. But my same weakness can be then converted into opportunity to talk to more people. So my S strengths, W weakness, O opportunity are sorted. Now T is threats. So threats could be an external threat to you, right? Now in this case, when you're thinking about your career and when you're assessing about your strengths. Now, threat could be someone who is well read, or let's say someone who is more of an extrovert, right? That might be a threat for me in this profession because he or she might be more comfortable in forming that bond or building that connection, whereas I would take some amount of time to build a good connection with everyone. So this is how you can do a SWOT analysis. And once you write down all the strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, threats of yourself, then you will ask others to help to tell you your strengths, your weaknesses, your opportunities, and your threats. And then you can cross verify and also add couple of points to the list, right? And you can, that's how you will discover more about yourself and where your interests lie. Now, covering about the skill development part, skills are usually divided into two aspects, right? One is the hard skills, other one is soft skills. Now, hard skills are all those technical skills that will help you do your day-to-day job. For example, if you're a coder, programming would be your hard skill. If you are into finance, if you're doing a BCom or MBA, financial modeling could be your hard skill. Data analysis could be a hard skill for a person who is more into visualization, playing with data again. And there's so many hard skills other than that. But what exactly? So hard skills are important for you in early stages of career. But if you want to build a long-term career, a combination of hard and soft skills is always that stands out the most. If you want to be a leader someday in future, let's say 15 years, 10 years, 20 years down the line, it's the soft skills that would matter the most, because hard skills is something that you'd learn on the job while you're working in any internship or any job. But soft skills, it's very difficult to get trained on. So it's a continuous process and it's a long process to in order to gain certain soft skills. Now, if I had to talk about soft skills, communication plays a huge part in that, because it covers public speaking. It also involves clear writing. So it could be both verbal, written, as well as non-written communication. And given if you want to, let's say, enter a corporate world, and both these aspects play a very important role, because writing a professional email is equally important as having a good conversation with your colleague in order to help them understand or your own perspective and also to understand their perspective. So communication is important. Then comes teamwork, which is another huge aspect of a soft skill, because no matter where you work and what you do, you're always going to work around and work with people. So collaborating in diverse environments is what you should look after in terms of developing the skill. Talk to people with different cultural backgrounds, talk to people with different education backgrounds, and try to understand, learn more about them, which will help you in a big way, because eventually your role in a corporate world would be to get your own job done without being rude or without being offensive to someone else, right? You should be able to build that good rapport between the person and at the same time get your job done. So that's what teamwork is all about. And also being acceptable or open to accept to others' ideas is also a huge aspect when it comes to teamwork. One most crucial is time management, but again, this is the one soft skill I've noticed, and I've noticed within myself also, that we usually tend to overlook at, because prioritizing certain tasks or goals in your life is very important, and for that, time management plays a crucial role. There's a very popular matrix called Eisenhower matrix, which talks about important, non-important, urgent, or not urgent things. If you build that matrix, you will able to clearly distinguish your tasks which are important in day-to-day life, and help your day get sorted. Because if you're planning your day well in advance, you would be clear in your mind as to what you'll be working on, and hence you would not be feeling stressed towards the end of the day. Hence it's very important. And how you can develop these skills, again, as I mentioned earlier as well, online courses. You can use Udemy, you can use edX, Skillshare to sort of get equipped with both hard and as well as soft skills. Again, Udemy is a great platform because it offers courses at very cheaper prices. You can get a course as minimum as 49 rupees, 200 rupees, 200 rupees, and you can learn many great tools. So I remember I did my first course on Udemy, which was on Microsoft Excel, which is very important whenever you're working, right? Excel is going to be a savior. Trust me, no matter which role you get into, Excel is going to play a huge part in your role. The next way to develop skills is volunteering and extracurricular activities. So, for example, studying in any college, in a college right now, whatever you're studying in the classroom is a very most important thing that you should learn. But other than that, how you apply these skills, or how you gain practical exposure on these skills, again, matter a lot. So this is when the clubs, committees come into picture, right? You become a part of clubs, you become a part of committee, you understand how important communication is, you understand how important teamwork is, you understand how important time management is, because you have to now manage your studies, your exams, assignments. Along with that, you have to manage the responsibilities of the club you're a part of. So yes, you understand how to deal with people on a regular basis, because no matter what job you do, people are going to be there around you, and your job would be dependent on people no matter what. Now covering next aspects is networking and mentorship. Now, I when I was studying, when I was 18, 19 years old, I overlooked this aspect a lot. I did not focus on networking, I did not focus on mentorship, and I regretted that for the next 1 or 2 years of my life. But now I've mastered these skills so much that it has been my go-to for no matter what. So I'll help. If you are new to this concept, I will help you understand what networking is and why it is important. So networking is basically connecting with people, with industry experts, with like-minded, similar-minded people around you to understand, to learn about their opportunities, and also collaborate on any future projects that you would want to work upon, right? Now, it could be job, it could be internship, it could be project, it could be for certain assignments you're doing, no matter what. And LinkedIn is a best way to network with people, because you will find people of all sorts, of no matter where they are working, no matter what role they are working in, you will find them. You will find that person on LinkedIn. Whether they're active or not is a another issue, but yes, you'll find them on LinkedIn for sure. Why it is important is because it opens your doors to new opportunities, right? If you, let's say, if you want to apply for a job, instead of applying directly, going on the job post and applying there, you can actually connect with the HR who is hiring for that role. Talk openly about your experiences and what you can bring onto the table for them, and this will definitely increase your chances of getting hired, or getting hired as an intern or in a full-time role. uh, you can also seek guidance through networking, and this is a mix of networking and mentorship, which I'll then cover in the later stages. And then, of course, there's a chance of collaboration as well. For example, freelancers use networking a lot. If you're a video editor, and if you're looking out for certain content creators who might be in need of or in a search of any video editor, right? You can reach out to them. You can showcase your portfolio, you can showcase your work, and then get your freelancing project from there. So, networking also helps in collaboration. Now, here are a couple of tips on how you can, network like a pro. You can start from the smallest of small things by attending seminars, by attending webinars and industry events. For example, this particular event that you all guys are attending is also a great networking opportunity. You can find me on LinkedIn by searching my name on LinkedIn with the company. You'll find me on LinkedIn. You can send out a connection request, and I would stay connected with you, right? So no matter when I'm hiring for any particular role, I'd put a job post on LinkedIn, and you will be the first person to see it. So see, this is again a networking tip. This is again a networking opportunity. So be active, be attentive on attending these seminars, webinars, and also industry events. Apart from this, there are many industry panel talks that take place throughout the country, which have been organized in collaboration with top organizations, right? Wherein you can network with all the industry experts out there. You can join professional organizations and groups on platforms like LinkedIn. So LinkedIn also has a feature of groups which most of the people nowadays ignore too. So you can, so for example, let's say you are you're studying BCom, but you want to pursue MBA in finance, let's say 1 year or 2 years down the line, or 6 months down the line. You can just search on LinkedIn in finance. You'll find hundreds and thousands of groups related to finance, and filtered with the help of location, number of people, and the talking discussion points as well. That then this is, as networking cannot be more simpler than this, is always the courage that you need to take in order to send that first request and also a message in terms of networking. Now let's cover certain points about mentorship, right? Now, what's the role of a mentorship? Now, mentorship is nothing but getting guidance from industry experts. It could be nothing. I cannot explain it more simpler than this, right? How to approach mentors, for example, alumni, industry leaders. It's very easy. All you have to do is craft a simple message saying, "Hey, my name is XYZ. I am a student, or I am a working professional." That totally depends on your current status, your current occupation, and I would want to seek guidance, or I want to learn certain skills, and I feel that your profile could be or your experience could be of great help in order to build portfolio, and also in terms of collaborating in future. So this is how you can approach to mentors. I'll drop a template for networking and mentorship and how you can gain those. Right, I'll drop that template in the chat box towards the end of the talk. Yep, and also the benefits that you'd receive from mentorship is advice, resources, and moral support, because these are the industry experts who have been working for the past 20-25 years, and they might have seen so many challenges, so many ups and downs in the career, that you can actually get benefit from. Because a wise man has once said, right, learn from others' mistakes, right, so that you don't commit the same mistake again and again, and it's a great way to learn. Coming to the last part for today's discussion, that's interview preparation. Once you've done all these aspects, right, now once you've networked, once you got mentored, once you've planned about your career, once you've understood and discovered your own self, then comes the last stage, that is the D-Day, which is interview, right? And how do you prepare for an interview is what I'm going to cover in this segment. So it always starts from the resume. And here are a couple of tips that would help you build and craft a good tailored resume, right? And you should always remember to keep it concise and tailored to the job. For example, if you're applying for two different jobs, but the domain is same, and the job responsibilities of the JD would be different for the same role. So you have to create or curate your own resume as per the JD that has been provided or shown by the company. And always remember to keep it concise, right? Always, I would suggest always, whenever you're crafting a resume, it should be not more than 1 page, because an interviewer, an HR, or a recruiter always only gets 6 to 7 seconds to view all the resumes, right? And no one actually looks at a resume beyond that time. Always highlight your achievements and not just responsibilities, because achievements is a result or shows that what impact you created in whatever internship, project, or full-time role that you might have worked upon. And always remember to use action words. For example, use words like led, implemented, achieved whenever you are explaining your responsibilities, and that shows the kind of impact or the initiatives that you have taken. That shows the action that you have taken in any particular role that you have been working on. Once you have created or crafted a proper resume, the chances of getting shortlisted to a job increases by 25%, and it's a research says that. And the next step, of course, once your resume gets shortlisted, is the interview, right, which is the D-Day. And there are also a couple of things that you need to keep in mind before attending any interview. The first basic and most common tip, I would say, is research about the company and role. If you do a thorough research about any company you are applying to, you'll understand about their business, you'll understand about the industry that they're working on. You then research about the industry dynamics, and you can understand where the company stands in that particular segment. You'll also find a couple of rivals that the company might have. You will research more about them, and then you'll have a thorough understanding about the company well before you join, or well before even you attend the interview. And it shows to the interviewer that yes, you have researched about the company, you know certain things about company, which increases your chances of getting selected in the interview. And also, once you research about the company, you understand about the mission, the vision that the company has, and also the culture that the company follows, which would also be a good understanding for you as to if you're going to be a great fit or not over here. And also research about the role. So when I say, let's say you're looking for a finance manager role in, let's say, company 1 and company 2, although the role may be same, but the way the role is expressed in the JD differs a lot. And also the compensation that both the companies would offer would be different. So always be proactive in terms of researching the company and the role that you apply to. Now, the next step is the communication part. How do you answer certain questions? Now, there are very common questions that most of the interviewers ask to understand you, right? For example, the most common question, I have seen or heard interviews asked is, tell me about yourself. And that is the first question which anybody will ask you to understand more about you. And so the best way to answer this particular question is always talk about your resume. That's obvious, but always add certain points which are not mentioned in your resume, because that will tell the interviewer or the recruiter as to who you are as a person. And eventually you will be hired for your skills, for your technical abilities, obviously, but if you may help the interviewer understand what your personality is, how are you as a person, then you can form a bond that would be unbreakable between you and a recruiter. and that's how you build connections and get those jobs cracked. And the last tip I would like to give you on this would be use the star method for always when you are answering behavioral question. For example, if you are in an interview, uh, whenever you are in an interview, and if let's say you get this question asked, tell me about a time wherein you were in a conflict situation. How did you resolve that conflict? Now, this is a behavioral question because it will help the interviewer understand uh, as to what your approach is towards solving a particular conflict that you might be involved in. Um, so using a star method in this particular question would be most beneficial. Now, star stands for S is for situation, T is for tasks, A is for actions, and R is for results. Now, situation, whenever you talk about, let's say, answer the question, always talk about the situation you were into. For example, for this conflict question which I just presented, you can always start I was working in a group setting and my teammates were having a disagreement over certain data points, and that's when the conflict arose. So now you explain the situation to the interviewer. Then you can talk about the task. For example, how you know what was your task or your role in this entire situation. Now in this situation you can say, like, my colleagues were fighting over it and they were fighting non-stop and it was escalating to a certain level, and hence I decided to intervene to stop the conflict and to resolve the conflict between them. Now that was the task I talked about. Now the next step I would talk about is the action. Now what actions did I take, right? So for example, I can say I separated both of them from the room. I took them to in two different rooms, gave them a nice cold drink to drink so that they cool their mind, and then they can come back again and discuss it like normal human beings, right, in a calmer, gentler way. Now told my actions in this particular way. Now last R stands for results, right? Now what it resulted into? It resulted into a calmer way of discussing things uh, and this is how I diffuse the particular conflict or a particular situation, as I mentioned earlier, right? So this is how you should structure each and every behavioral question that might get asked, right? So it's a very common way and the most effective method, the star method. So yes, that's all from my side. I'm open to answer all of your questions that any of you guys have. Feel free to drop it on the chat box so that I would go through the questions and then be able to help you on those. Right. So there's one question by Takura Bright. Which portal to get courses? Yeah, great question, Takura. So there are many portals that you can get access to. Coursera is one great portal. Then there is EDX is one good portal wherein you can find courses from all the Ivy League colleges, right from Stanford, MIT, Harvard. Then there's for cheaper options, you can always go to Udemy, wherein you will find pre-recorded sessions, and these sessions won't be live, but it's a great way to add on certain minor skill sets. For example, if you want to learn MS Microsoft Excel, if you want to learn Tally, if you want to learn, want to understand basics of any coding language, Udemy would be a great source for you to learn those. Apart from that, we at Beep we also have a couple of courses that we have to offer for students, for working professionals. These are into UI UX design, digital marketing, data science. So yes, there are many such portals that you can have access to. YouTube is one great way of also learning and understanding more on these certain topics, because it's a free portal, right? And it's free to for all to use. So again, YouTube would be again a great source. So I personally like to use Coursera. I like to use Udemy. I like to use YouTube. I use a combination of these three portals to sort of get myself upskilled. How to prepare for first interview? All right, great. Thanks for asking that, Gayatri. I know first interviews, when you, let's say, get a call from a recruiter, a message from a recruiter that, hey, you've been shortlisted for the interview. And I remember my first time, I was very nervous. I had cold feet, right? I started contemplating, I started questioning myself if I would be able to sort of crack the interview, if I started overthinking basically. So that's the first tip for you, as in terms of preparation, as to don't overthink about it. You obviously got the interview call because the interview saw something in you, right, in terms of skills or the kind of experience that you might have mentioned. So it's a great step, getting the first interview call. Now, once you receive the call, always go through the JD once more, because reading the JD over and over again will help you understand and uncover certain things that you might have missed in your first read. You will understand, oh, this is one more aspect that they might be looking at, the employers might be looking out for in a particular employee. and then you can research more about those action points. Your chat gpt, you can use chat gpt, other AI tools like Perplexity to sort of uncover the JD or the hidden meaning in any particular JD. You can just copy paste or upload the file directly, and then it will help you understand or help you also give certain common questions that you might get asked related to that JD, and also along with that they will also give you a proper answer to this. So I personally use ChatGPT a lot, to even as an interviewer, to ask certain questions that I need a clarity on. So if the interviewers are using ChatGPT, then why not we as applicants can use it also, right? I hope that answers the question. Yep. Next is Kushal. I am in my second year at SJCC. I'm studying US CMA but did internship in marketing. Is it considered relevant, or do I focus on internships that's relevant to CMA? Okay, it's an accounting certification. Okay, all right. So yes, if you are really interested in pursuing a career, in the accounting side, then of course certified. Yes, thank you for that, Kushal. So if you're really interested in pursuing your career in CMA, going forward, I would suggest that do a couple of internships related to your domain, because since you're only starting out as in your career, right? It's always better to have understanding of the skill sets, the practicality, the approach of what work you're going to do in your relevant field first. Once you have the basic skill sets that are required in the industry, then you can always look out for different kind of internships to sort of upskill yourself in different domains. For example, once you understand more on the technical side of CMA in internship, then you can pursue a marketing internship to sort of streamline your communication and improve more on a communication. So that you will do. So yes, answering to your question, if you want to pursue a career in CMA, always do internships. Always take on projects which are relevant to your certification rather than doing any other internships. Okay, so Vijita is asking, I am in my second year BCom. How can I land a job relating data analytics or business analytics after BCom? Give me the courses or skills I must improve on. All right, great. So I am assuming with the fact that you are new to data analytics or business analytics as a domain. So if you're a fresher in that domain, I would suggest you can do a starter course or a refresher course on Udemy. There's a very good course on Udemy wherein you can understand the basics of business analytics. So it starts from that particular course talks about what exactly is data analytics, what exactly you can, what sort of career that you can envision if you do this particular course or pursue this sort of domain as a career, what sort of tools that you would have to learn with, and how difficult are these tools to learn on. So it's a very refresher starter course, the Udemy one. Also, if you want to have a more detailed understanding, there's a tutor on YouTube also you can search for. Even if you type data analytics course on YouTube, you would find relevant experts talking about the courses, right? So YouTube and Udemy is the two portals that you should definitely use for this. And once you've mastered or understood what exactly is data analytics, business analytics, and if your interest lies there in that, actually only then I would suggest you to take up a paid course on that. So that you can learn more in detail. So you can learn more about the tools, different visualization tools, different tools like Python, C++, Java, whatever is used in that particular domain. Now, Dipanjan is asking where to apply for internships. There are many great portals to apply for internships. I would personally recommend you to use LinkedIn, because most of the HR or hiring managers use LinkedIn nowadays to, even for when hiring for interns. Right. So LinkedIn is one. Internship is a good portal. You can find many portals or many internships on a Beep app as well. If you browse in the career section on our app. So yes, these are a couple of good portals that you can apply, wherein you can apply for relevant internships. Himanshu is asking, how do you figure out what interests you? Whether you should go with try and error method, or is there another way? Uh, that's a really interesting question. After reading this question, actually, I had a flashback when I was in second year of my engineering. That's when I actually realized, I didn't want to do engineering at all. So what I did was, back then, I started being active in the clubs, committees, and started taking up other activities, that would help me get out of engineering. So what this did to me was, it helped me gain more practical exposure on other softer aspects that I could focus on. So I started working on my soft skills for that matter. So yes, trial and error is a good way I would suggest, but it's a long method to understand what you like or what you do not like. I would suggest if you are currently studying in um, if you're currently studying in any college, right? So you have ample amount of time once you come back home from college. So I would suggest read certain books, go use YouTube, utilize YouTube to its maximum potential to understand more about different domains. For example, if you're studying BCom, if you are interested in marketing, understand about marketing. You can start reading, the Philip Kotler, which is a really great book on marketing to get understanding or more detailed on it, right? So college would be the best year for you to explore more skills, since you also have time, energy, and effort to if you want to go for the trial and error method. Which companies, Vijita is asking, which companies can apply for? So if you're asking me company specific or related to data analytics or business analytics, I mean, most of the companies that are in the IT field or product based companies nowadays are looking out for data or business analytics role, because it's a very because that's one particular role that's more in demand right now. So yeah, there are many companies. Just to name, Infosys do hire for business analysts. Then there are Amdocs is one company that hires for business analysts, and there are many Indian US startups both which look out for this particular role. So you don't have to worry about which companies to apply for. Rather than focusing on that, I would suggest first focus on gaining certain skill sets that would help you actually land internships in those firms. My internship. So yes, I'll just drop in my LinkedIn URL for you guys, so that you can stay connected with me on LinkedIn and be able to help you with a more personalized, focused career guidance approach. So you can just search me by my name, or it's ARPIT space KOLGE. Sir, is there any internship for finance or accounting roles at Beep? Not at the moment, Kushal. We're not currently hiring for any finance or accounting roles internally right now. But yes, in the coming 1 or 2 months, we would definitely be in need of an intern in the finance department. So yes, let's stay connected on LinkedIn. And once we have a relevant opening in, let's say, 1 month or so, you would be the first person I would reach out to in this case. Now, Himanshi is asking also, if you find a niche as well, what to prefer, like go for internships or freelancing, and if you want to find a right client, which platforms to prefer. Yep. So if you find a niche, all right, in that sense, it's always, I would always suggest you to go for internships. If, let's say, freelancing opportunities are very less in the market, because internships would give you a more holistic approach about that niche as well. It won't be that you'll be working specifically on that particular domain, but you'll also get to understand as to how an organization, how a company works, right? What are the protocols, what are the operational processes? In that way, you will be having a more holistic learning. Yes, you can do freelancing also if you are getting paid well, if you're getting paid the right amount for the amount of efforts you put in and the time you put in, then freelancing would be a great option to go for. All right, great. If you guys don't have any question, I think that's it from my side then. Yep, thank you so much, Kushal. It was lovely interacting with you. Over to you now, Manjari.
Thank you so much, Arpit, for this insightful session. We would I hope that the audience here has, received all the insights that they really were seeking. And as Arpit has shared his LinkedIn profile link, so you can anytime connect with Arpit and ask him, the doubts or questions that you have related to interview rounds. So yeah, I think that's it. Thank you for taking this session, and also thank you all for being a lovely audience here. And I have shared a feedback form link. I would request you all to fill the feedback form and let us know your review on the event. Also, make sure that you guys, follow us on Instagram and do connect us on LinkedIn as well. So yeah, that's it from our end. Thank you all for joining. Hope to see you in the next session.